Welcome, Burn Nation, to the Burn Bootcamp podcast. I'm Ansley, one of your guest hosts, and we have an incredible transformation story today. Oh my gosh, you guys, so many of us think about burn, being a lifesaver, and from a confidence and a community and just a connection, healthy lifestyle standpoint. But what you're going to hear today is how Burn Bootcamp can actually literally save your life. I'm so honored to have Maegan here today. Maegan Sylves from Braselton, Georgia. Welcome, Maegan.
Hi. Hi, Ansley. How are you?
Thank you. I'm doing great. I hope you are. And I am just so excited for you to get to share this story. We read your email that you sent to us, and we passed it literally around the office because it gave everyone chills to hear about what your journey and what Burn Bootcamp has meant to you, and the part that it played in a very, very what could have been a devastating point in your life. But anyway, good. Welcome. I'm so happy to have you here.
Well, thank you for having me. And Ansley, like you said, my name's Maegan Sylves. I am a stay-at-home mom. I have two little kids. My son's name is John David. He is 7 years old. And I have a 4-year-old. Her name is Caroline, and they are my joy. Like I said, I'm a stay-at-home mom with them. So I spend a lot of activities with my kiddos outside, doing a lot of mom things while my husband is out traveling and working. So that's a little bit about me.
That's great. Those are precious names. Oh my goodness. Very, very classic.
Thank you.
Very traditional. I love it. Well, that is great. Stay-at-home mom that's a hard gig. Thank you for what you're doing every single day. There are a lot of us listening.
That's why I had to find a place that was just about me.
That's exactly right. Yeah, and that is one of the special things about Burn is that you can bring the kiddos along with you, and it's an activity that takes up a little bit of time in the day, and it's something just for you, but it also extends to them, and it shows them about self-care, and it teaches them just the best lessons in life.
Totally.
Well, so if I walked into Burn Braselton, what's the vibe? What am I gonna? Who are your people there? How's it the most kick-ass?
So I like to say it is truly my favorite place in the whole wide world. Anyone that knows me and they encounter me, they know I always have like a Burn sweatshirt on or a Burn shirt.
Yep.
It's my favorite place in the whole world. What makes our place unique, we always call it the unicorn of Burns, is truly our trainers. Our head trainer, her name is Becca Turgeon, and she is truly God sent. The way that she pours into her people with just love and compassion is unlike any other. But if you catch her on a cardio day, especially through burst training, she will whoop your booty into shape, and she will call you out from the other side of the room. And the rest of our trainers, Lindsay, Christy, Emily, Stephanie, Autumn, and Ashley are so amazing. And it's just such a joy to walk in. And they are all just a ray of sunshine, and it brings so much joy to my day each and every day.
Yep. So you're at camp. Are you 5 days a week?
I am 6 days a week. So I usually go, honestly, like through this injury, since 2024, I've been going 5 days a week. So Monday through Friday, I'm giving myself some grace on Saturday. But all last year, I was going 6 days a week. I started my journey with Burn back in December of 2022. And I started with the promo of the 4 for $69. And it was such a cool promo. I got like a little dip, my toes in the water with Burn, but not fully committed. And then I committed with Burn in January. And so seeing just people hit 250 at the end of December when I first started was such a really cool thing. Just knowing that they hit 250 camps and how much time and determination and hard work and just putting that time aside from anything else going on in your life, giving yourself 45 minutes every single day, just to see those people hit 250 was really cool. And so going into January of 2023, so last year, I said, if I'm signing up for this, I'm doing it. I'm going to hit 250. And that was my goal, out of the gates. And so I knew to hit that goal, I had to go 6 days a week, or at minimum 5 days a week, but I was going 6 days a week. And I was determined to make it happen. And like I said, that was quickly how I, was able to come to love Burn. I got to know a lot of members that way. And our community is really cool because we have what's called Burn Night Outs. And so once a month, we have activities that we go out to dinner or we do an activity. And so it's really just like I'm going to say a team bonding type activity.
Yeah.
And so that's how I was able to meet a lot of our members that I don't normally see at my 9:30 or 10:30 camp. They might go to the AM or PM camps that I don't normally cross paths with them. But it was neat to just get to know people that I don't see on the floor all the time, but have similar stories that I do, that have young children and are just kind of struggling through life sometimes.
Yep. You're in the same season of life. Yep. 100%. I love that you committed and you were all in. Seeing that milestone, that 250 camp, that flicked a switch for you, I guess.
Totally. And so I know it sounds silly. I don't know if all burns do this, but I will show you. At our burn, we had 50, we had 100, and we had 250. And I was determined to put a 250 sticker on my Stanley cup, and I was going to carry it with pride. And so I still obviously carry my Stanley with pride.
Oh, that's so awesome. That is amazing. That is quite the goal setting right there.
Yeah.
And that's good for you. That's amazing. Well, okay. So Maegan, before we jump into your story, which is just really, I want to make sure that we have a lot of time to dive into that and let you tell, it's an incredible story, but I just want to get a little background on you. So growing up, were you, did you play sports? Were you athletic? What did nutrition look like in your household growing up?
Sure. So growing up, I'm an only child. And so with being an only child, I spent a lot of time with my mom and dad, and they are the most wonderful humans that I've ever met in my life. I love them so dearly. We always traveled. We had an RV growing up. And so my parents would take us all over the U.S., or take me, I should say, all over the U.S., and we would see different things. That being said, my parents were never big into working out, exercise, that kind of thing. So it wasn't something that I necessarily grew up around. My parents both worked full times. They were just busy. It was something that just wasn't common in our home. And so I knew going into high school, then college, and, getting older, getting married, that if it was something that I wanted myself to do, or even have kids in the future see, it was something I needed to get up and do. And so in high school, I picked up running. And so I just ran for fun, and eventually met my husband, and my husband was a big runner. And so we joke that that's how we fell in love, was by running. We would be running buddies together. And, over the years, we got married, and then once we had kids and then another kid, exercise and fitness kind of went to the wayside as just a new mom and a young mom. And now I still think I'm a young mom, a 7 and a 4-year-old. Obviously a different stage of life than babies, but I put myself off for a long time. At the time I worked full time, and having 2 kids, you didn't want to come home from work and exclude them from, oh, mommy's gonna go work out, so I can't play with you, or so I just put that to the wayside. And COVID then hit, and I was packing on the pounds. And then after COVID, I was living in a body that I no longer even recognized. I knew that myself was still deep down in there, but it was a person that I didn't even know when I looked in the mirror. And so when 2022 started, I dedicated really that whole year. I made a goal for myself to get out and run every single day. We have a park near our home, and I would run that park. It was a 2.5 mile run. And so I'd run that park every single day, come the snow, the rain, the cold. Regardless of the weather, like, I was out there. And, towards the end of 2022 is when I was kind of over the rain and running through that rain. And one of my girlfriends, Angela, introduced me to Burn, and she was the one who got me into Burn in December of 2022. And so that was kind of my start into going into Burn. Was I was led to Burn thinking that, Burn will help me lose weight and give me this idea of a body that I wanted. I would be skinny, I would be toned, I would be this person. And really what I've gotten out of Burn, yes, I've lost weight. I've seen goals, I've hit accomplishments, I'm lifting heavier than I ever have before, but it's far more than that. Like the beauty in the community
Yeah.
and just the confidence that I have in myself is unlike any other moment that I've experienced through my life.
Yep. Yep. That's we hear that same thread through honestly most of our members. They go in because they want to lose weight. And it's not, and they quickly figure out that it's not about what you lose, it's about what you gain with us.
Absolutely.
And it's,
Absolutely.
it's that confidence, it's that third place community, it's the bonds of the friendships that you have. It is, it really is like no other. So I'm so glad that Braselton is that place for you.
Yeah.
That makes me really happy.
It's my favorite place.
Well,
like I said.
yes, I know, that's awesome. So you were well on your way to, like, crushing those goals, and so bring us to Halloween of 2023.
Sure. So, like you said, I was well on my way to hitting my goals. And so on Halloween night, which started out as a really fun night of trick-or-treating, just quickly turned tragic for my family. My husband and our 2 young children and our friends were involved in a golf cart accident. We chose to go trick-or-treating at my in-laws, which they live in a golf cart community. So it's very common to be on a golf cart, to ride around the neighborhood,
Yep.
And then after hitting our second house while trick-or-treating, we began down a hill that had a Y at the bottom of the hill. My husband was driving, and at the time he was veering to the left. And I said, no, babe, we need, to go to the right. And just through the slight movement of moving the wheel, him and my daughter were thrown from the golf cart. I think just from the down, the decline in the hill and the Y in the road, they were thrown off. Yep. Then which caused the golf cart to tragically roll and then slide, leaving me completely trapped in it. During the accident, the metal pole that was holding up the golf cart roof is what landed on my arm, and it completely broke my humerus bone in half. Once the golf cart was lifted off of me, I was then rushed to ER and had to have emergency surgery. After surgery, our doctor told me very confidently, and has said many, many times since, that I would not be alive today if it were not for the muscle mass that I had in my arm. I just would not be here. The break was exactly over my radial nerve and my artery, where if I did not have the muscle to hold my broken pieces of bone into place, I would have punctured through my skin and it would have caused me to bleed out at the scene.
I mean,
after
Maegan,
surgery.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. After surgery, I had countless trainers, members, and friends come to check on me while I was in the hospital. The community truly rallied around me in ways that I had never seen before.
Yeah.
At the time of my accident, I was at 240 camps, and I was busy training for our level up games. I was training daily. I had signed up in August of 2023, and the day I signed up, I said, I'm going to clean my diet up. I'm going to have, only whole foods. I'm going to drink my protein like I should. I'm not going to drink alcohol. Like, I truly transformed my life within those 2 months. And so quickly within that accident, it was taken away so fast. I was grateful that I was alive. I mean, God was so good to me that my life was spared and I was brought to burn, because I truly believe that I'm alive because of burn. I was heartbroken for all that I had lost in those 10 camps that I was shy of from hitting my goal, and from truly being at my prime to train and to compete within Level Up. I was heartbroken. But with that, my husband, who is such an incredible human, and my trainer planned the most loving and humbling surprise. My husband stepped up and worked with our trainer, Becca, to compete and level up in my place and in my honor. My husband, David, kicked ass. He was so amazing, and it was so cool to see him do something out of pure love for me and for my passion. And while my husband does work out every day, he doesn't go to burn, and he doesn't do all those cool cardio days that we do.
Oh God.
But for him to step up and show like his unconditional love for me and my passion was the most amazing thing you could ask for from your spouse.
True.
In the weeks following, because it's been a long ride, in a cast and a brace and then a sling. I finally hit my 250 goal. I even ended 2023 with 258 camps under my belt. And then starting 2024, I've only missed 4 camps this year. I should hit my 50 this week.
Oh,
and
my
going in
God.
daily, I've been pumping out 1-arm burpees, 1-arm push-ups, and seriously everything else that I can do. My trainers have been so incredible through this. They write me daily modifications and just really allow me to be part of my community still, even through my injury. But to say this like humbly and honestly, like Burn Bootcamp saved my life. I would not be here today. I would not have the moments with my family, with my children, without Burn. And I'm so grateful for the community that you guys created and truly welcomed me in and allowed me to be participating in.
Yeah. I mean, Maegan, you all create the community. It's people like you who are so passionate and so driven and create such a soft place to land for so many people, whether they're, struggling through an injury or through a divorce or through just life. It's brutal sometimes. And when you can find a place and people who are there for you, no matter what,
Totally.
that community it's just everything. And
with that,
I
go ahead.
Yeah, go ahead. I was going to say I
Go
this
ahead,
is
Ansley.
the joy of virtual podcasting. Tony will cut that. No, I was going to say, if their husband's listening, your husband is it is truly the most amazing gift that he gave you and that he gave himself to step into that for you and for your kids to see that and for your community to see that. Just so many kudos to that man, and that he did not die. And we have footage of him going after it, and he really did. He kicked ass. He really did. So good job, David.
But
yeah,
being said,
I'm
with my community, I could not have done it without them, though. The first 6 weeks, while I was in a cast and what through all the transitions that I was going through, because obviously you use 2 arms in most of your day that you don't even think about. For 6 whole weeks,
sure.
My Burn community stepped up for me and made meals for me every single day. I did not make a meal for my family for 6 whole weeks. They washed my hair because it takes 2 hands to wash your hair. They washed my hair. They loved on my children. They played with my children so I could take a nap and I could rest in the way that my body needed to rest. They all rallied together and had a professional cleaner come in and clean my home so I didn't have to worry about having my house cleaned. And the blessings upon blessings that I have seen through this tragedy, just the triumph on the other side outweighs any kind of tragedy that I went through.
Yeah. Well, it is the most inspiring. I'm so thrilled for you. I'm so thrilled that you're getting ready to hit your 50th camp already. I don't think anyone should underestimate you, Maegan. You are a driven woman, and I know that this that accident was devastating to say the least, but you're right. It's proving how much you have to give, how tough you are, how resilient you are.
I think it also shows that consistency is key. And I think that we often hear, be consistent. And, you go to the gym 5 days a week and you think, I'm going to lose 2 pounds this week. And if you don't see that on the scale, sometimes people quit. But that's not always the case. Yeah. Being consistent, having those long-term goals is where you actually start to see those goals being met. It's not going to happen in a week. It's not going to happen in a month. It's going to happen over 6 months or a year. And that consistency is what actually saved my life, is being consistent, making it, hey, this is my goal to go to 240 camps. but God had a different goal for me. God's goal was not that 250 goal for me. It was for me to be able to survive an accident and keeping me consistent. So my body was very well prepared to be there for my family.
Wow. I will never skip an arm day. Never.
Legs are important
Gosh.
too, though.
Well, true. Well, and that's the good thing. You can't, if you go 6 days a week, you're going to get it all. Well, so Maegan, there are people that I'm sure are listening that have struggled with an injury and they're thinking about trying to get back in the game. But it's a scary prospect sometimes when you've had an injury and you really don't want to go back to that place, but you really need to make a decision about how you want to live your life going forward. So if you could reach out to them and tell them, a couple of things that you think about every day when you go in and you are doing those one arm push-ups and you're still showing up for yourself and, upholding that commitment to yourself, what would you tell them?
Yeah. I mean, overcoming an injury is no joke. I mean, everyone's injury looks different, but often we look at an injury as a setback, but we often rarely look at it as an opportunity. I just chose to look at this as an opportunity to stick with my goals, keep reaching for more, and to prove to myself that I could do anything that I put my mind to. Don't get me wrong. I had the days where I felt like I should stay in my pajamas and wallow in my self-pity. But I knew that there would be nothing productive to come from that. So I chose to put on my yoga pants and put on my burn t-shirt and make sure that I showed up every day. I had to overcome my own mental setbacks. And it was just that. It was mental. I physically had 2 legs that worked perfectly fine. And I knew I could still do something, however that looked for me. I'm grateful for the trainers, again, that took time, that have written me modifications and still write me modifications to this day. But long and the short, I encourage you to always push yourself to make it back, to move your body in any way that you can. You're stronger than your setback. And what I've been told from one of my greatest trainers is that along the greatest setback brings our greatest return. And so to me, I know that I am my greatest investment and you are your greatest investment. So invest that time into how you can better yourself.
So well said. So well said. The setback just gets you ready for your comeback. And you've done that. And I'm so thrilled for you. And I cannot wait. You better take pictures and send us from your 50th, your 100th, your 150, all the way to 250.
I will be at 250.
We want to celebrate. Yes, you will, Maegan. I know that for sure. For sure. Okay. So we'll end with rapid fire. You ready?
Yeah.
Favorite protocol?
Hands down, burst training.
Is what?
Specifically, my favorite workout is battle ropes with a full burpee. That's my favorite.
Oh, God. Well, can you come to Lake Norman and do them for me? That's brutal. Oh, gosh.
I'm sure it's not as bad.
Well, what's the protocol that makes you like, oh, God, I can't?
So equally, body weight conditioning, another conditioning day.
Oh, yes.
Something about body weight conditioning gets me every time. But I will tell you this, I am always a badass leaving that gym and I feel like Superwoman. So I never regret showing up for body weight conditioning, but man, it's the worst.
It's just sneaky brutal. Like you just think, oh, it's just body weight. How bad could it possibly be? And then you leave and you're like, oh.
It's worse.
Yes. It's everything you did not want it to be. Okay. So what's a goal that you have? I know you're going to get your camps in, and I know you probably are going to level up games again, but do you have like a box jump? What's your PR that you're working on?
Ooh. So I think right now, I'm still unable to use any kind of weight on my arm. I'm still going to physical therapy twice a week. So I still have a long road of recovery within that. My goal really is to get back to doing those battle rope slams and a full burpee. I would kill to do a full burpee. And I remember my first couple of camps back after my injury, still in my full cast, I would see members, doing burpees and they would just give that sigh of like, oh, kill me now. And I remember just
Yeah.
crying on our floating floor thinking, man, what I would do to do that full burpee again. And I keep trying to remind myself of that moment that I had within those first couple camps was, you can do anything. You can do anything. And with time, it will all come back. And that's just kind of how I keep my motivation up and keep my spirits high is this is this is a temporary problem that I will be back to it. I'm going to be doing level up. I might not win level up, but I will be there and I will be at 250. And that's my goal.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I think that's such a great mental attitude. It's not something that you have to do. It's something that you get to do. Like walking out onto that floating floor is a privilege. It really is to move your body.
I think being able to move our bodies in any capacity every single day is a blessing. And just to be mindful of that, to remind yourself of that, even in those hard moments when whatever exercise that you don't like to do, you think of, there are a lot of people in this world that aren't able to move their bodies in the way that I am. And I might have this handicap at the moment, but it's not what defines me. What defines me is my willingness to try.
Yep. Yeah. Your drive, your ambition. You got some grit.
Yeah, girl.
It's amazing. It's amazing. Very inspiring.
Well, if you ever want to come to Burn Braselton, you let me know, Ansley. I will be there pushing you through those battle rope slams, girly.
I was going to say, it's a deal if you do the battle rope burpees. That's a deal.
Deal.
Maegan, thank you so much for joining us today. This has just been so great. I am just, again, in awe. Like I said, a lot of people say, Burn saved my life, but like literally.
Burn boot camp quite literally can save your life without you even knowing it.
Yeah. Wow. Okay. I'm going to let you take us out.
Well, thank you for having me.
Yes,
and
absolutely. Absolutely.
1, 2.
1, 2.
Yay. Thank you.
Thanks for joining us, Burn Nation. We'll be back next week with another transformation story. Send us an email, podcast@burnbootcamp.com, and tell us about your story. Check us out on demand, like, subscribe, all those fun things. Thanks for joining us.